All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, double honors unto the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to you. I came across the four corners of the earth that are pushing this knowledge and truth and in sincerity. This is the brother Barzal from the GMS Arizona Camp, Lord's will, with another quick lesson edified through the Holy Spirit unto you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the true children of Israel according to the scriptures and according to the prophecy. Shalom. All right. Real quick, it's going to be a quick hit on this video. I want to go into this topic because Esau is defiling everything. And anything that he hasn't already defiled, which really the only thing in this world that he's unable to defile is this truth. You know, it's the only thing, one of the few things, I can't say the only thing, but one of the few things that remains pure is this truth. And but the majority of everything else in this world is defiled. Why? Because pursuant to Job 9:24, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, and this is what he has done with it. You know, you go to the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, say that the spirit that is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So there's a spirit in this so-called white man that's not upright. You know, he don't know how to do the right thing. It's not in his spirit to do so. So now that he has control of things, his mind is to defile it, and that's exactly what he has done. This is Isaiah 24:5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So this earth is defiled, and we see it more and more on many different levels in every different facet of life. Now, what I wanted to highlight in this video is a few things, some information that I came across watching a Vlad TV interview about this social media character named Clavicular, right? And this is him. This is the guy that you see in the image. His name is Clavicular. I've been seeing his name pop up here and there, but the other day I clicked on one of his videos. He was on Vlad TV and he started to talking, and I want to get into his story a little bit, and then also I want to play this video because this just shows where Esau wants to take this world. We saw when Obama got in office what he did with the whole alphabet agenda. Okay, we saw what he did with the whole alphabet agenda. Then we saw, you know, how every movie, every TV show, even the children's cartoons, the animation type of movie, the Disney movies, everything had this undertone pushing this alphabet agenda. It was already there, but it became that much more prominent after Obama came in office and started pushing that alphabet bullshit. Well, now this devil just continues to find ways to take things further. I'm going to play this video, fair use, fair use. I'm just using this for informational purposes only. But you can see how the world is becoming more and more defiled. How men are becoming lovers of themselves. We'll get that scripture too. Because this on the screen is what's called the enhanced games. So some devil sat down and came out with this new trend in sports. It's a whole new league, all right, we'll call it. It's a league of track and field, swimming, I believe wrestling or weightlifting, where you are allowed to take steroids. You're allowed to take performance-enhancing drugs to try to maximize your human potential. To be able to run as fast as a human possibly can and they want to see, based on these athletes taking these PEDs or performance enhancing drugs, how great of an athlete they can become. Now this guy, he was a swimmer. He broke the world record, and this was like, I think, their first event, and he broke the world record after, you know, taking whatever performance enhancers that he wanted to take as part of his training, and he breaks the world record. But it shows that this devil, he just defiles everything, man. He takes everything too fucking far. Now you about to have, and the thing is, you can't do, he's trying to mimic the powers that Yahweh Shemel Shai gave to the Israelites naturally, you know, through the spirit. And he's doing it, you know, through these carnal means. But I'm gonna play a little bit of this video, grab a few precepts and close this out.
Greek swimmer Christian Kolomev racing across the pool, finishing the 50-meter freestyle faster than the official world record time.
Kolomev, grab one record! 20 record!
His victory earning him over $1 million in prize money.
It's gonna change my life to the good for sure.
But despite the fanfare and celebrations, the official world record will go untouched. Kolomev's winning time yesterday, unofficial because it's at the Enhanced Games.
It's time to meet our athletes.
It's the highly controversial sporting event backed by the likes of Donald Trump Jr. and tech billionaire Peter Thiel.
This is life-changing, no?
That's life when you enhance, baby.
That allows swimming, weightlifting, and track athletes to take FDA-approved performance-enhancing drugs like steroids, blood boosters, and testosterone under medical supervision.
Now the people at home can also get enhanced and become the best they've ever been.
Tom spoke with the game's chief sporting officer last week.
The very simple question, why?
Well, I think the main reason is that, you know, we're interested in athletes pursuing their human potential and their limits, and doing it in a medically rigorous fashion.
The organization loosening the rule book on doping, even selling injectables and supplements on its website. Also permitting long band apparel like the synthetic supersuit for swimming.
The supersuit is crazy.
But despite the drug-fueled boost, only one world record was topped. And in the 100-meter sprint, Olympian Fred Curley won, he says, without using performance-enhancing drugs, beating out several athletes who did.
I'm not a judge, so everybody came here to do their own responsibility to showcase their talent to the world.
The event widely condemned by the International Olympic Committee and the World Anti-Doping Agency.
So I decided to out-cheat him the right way.
And mocked by several Olympic swimmers, including Dutch Olympian Niels Korstanji, who posted this video swimming faster than the world record, wearing flippers and a plastic shark fin.
What's the biggest fear that you have with what you're seeing? I'm just really scared that something like this would almost poison the idea of sport, where all of a sudden it's a science experiment that you can win by spending the most money.
But event leaders say push.
So this dude, this devil is a complete weirdo, man. And that's exactly what's getting ready to happen, man. This dude he defiles everything until it's completely destroyed. And if it wasn't for Yahweh Shemel Shai stepping in, you know, what do the scriptures say? Let's get it. This is a complete devil, man. Matthew 24:22, it says, and except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Mark 13:20, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. Okay, and that's what the Lord has done, because if you keep somebody like this in a position of power, and when I say somebody like this, I'm talking about the so-called white man, hey, there's no flesh gonna be saved. He's gonna destroy everything. You know, this dude is on a war path to destruction. Okay, and this just proves it. This is completely lame. And you know, I was going into the scriptures and went to ChatGPT. You know, was asking about, you know, strength and power by the Israelites, you know, and things like that. And I mean, there's so many instances. You know, you think about Samson, all right. You think about David, King David leaping over a wall. You think about I got a few precepts I'm gonna grab. You think about the way that the men trained and prepared for war and battle. All right, you think about Jacob wrestling the angel, and this was all through you know, just the spirit, the Lord putting a particular spirit and level of strength on the Israelites. And so this devil is just mocker, trying to copycat is the best way to say it, of everything that the Lord had created. He really envies us and wants to be us, and all he can do is do it through his technology. It's almost like on that Rocky movie, you know, where Rocky was training and he was using, you know, natural means, and he'll be running the steps and all that shit. He might not have the best equipment. Then you had that other dude, can't remember his name, but he was jogging on the treadmill, had all this technology hooked up to him, and he got his ass beat because Rocky had a particular heart. He had a particular spirit where he was able to overcome all of that fancy shit, you know. So this devil was just completely lame, and I saw that, and I'm just like, this devil take everything too fucking far. Next thing, matter of fact, let me get this precept, then I'm gonna read about this clavicular character, and then I'm gonna close this out. Bear with me. Where is that at? Is that Peter's? All right. Nope. Timothy. Of their own selves. Worded that wrong, Salakia. All right, this is 2 Timothy 3:2. It says, For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded. And you're seeing all of these things play out in real time right now. We're seeing this more and more and more throughout the earth, and it's happening, you know, in everybody's individual lives. You can tap and talk to any brother, you know, you tap in with them and talk to them, and they got somebody close to them that's doing all of this shit. So it's widespread all throughout the earth. Men are doing all of these things. These are all characteristics of what we see within the people, especially here in America. It says, traitors, heady, high-minded, this is verse 4, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. And that's very, very relevant right now. Verse 5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So this is what we see in the world, and you see it now. The thing about this, okay, this guy is 20 years old. Again, his name is Clavicular. He's 20 years old, and these streamers are now more popular than the musicians, and hell, even some athletes. They are now having that power and level and influence in the manner of the musicians did when, you know, I'm 40 years old, when we were coming up. You know, I feel like that whole era is starting to fade, and these guys that are on YouTube and these streamers are the ones that's blowing up, and the ones that the children are following after. So they have a voice. They have a powerful voice, and they have a powerful influence over the minds of the youth. So you have this guy here. We're going to go to his Wikipedia, and he has this whole term called Looksmaxxing, and we're going to read about it a little bit. So it says, Braden Eric Peters known online as Clavicular, is an American online streamer, internet personality, and influencer. He became known in 2025 on TikTok and Kick, which are what? Social media. Kick is a streaming app. It says for his Looksmaxxing content. So this is a whole new word out there called Looksmaxxing. And it's all about making yourself paying or doing whatever you got to do. Plastic surgery, facelifts, jaw surgeries, like all this shit to look your absolute best as a man. Taking all of these fucking shortcuts, getting cut on, nip tuck, to look as best as you can. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to live a good life. This is the idea that they're floating out there. It says he became known in 2025 on TikTok and Kick for his Looksmaxxing content, which commentators have described as extreme and controversial, particularly for his advocacy of practices including facial bone smashing, taking anabolic steroids, and using crystal meth as an appetite suppressant. This nigga need to be taken out of the way. And this nigga got millions upon millions of followers, and he's getting so much money. He's filthy rich, and he got all this influence over the minds of the youth. So now they all buying into this shit. That's how you know the Lord is getting ready to destroy this place. This gotta be the end. That's what this whole thing is about. That's why this dude is blowing up. His whole thing is his image, and take all the shortcuts you need to look as best as possible. He's all about plastic surgeries. He's all about all, and he's done $35,000-$40,000 plastic surgeries on his chin and all type of shit. You just have to look this kid up and read about him. It's ridiculous. It's crazy, because that's the idea that he's putting out there to the youth. Okay. So, man, pray over your children. Be mindful of the things that they watch and they take in, because there's a whole lot of bullshit out there that's trying to get them caught up, in the flesh, trying to pull them further and further into the world, into this new age, new way of life that's felt so far from what Yahweh Shem Yahushai set up for us. Real quick though, because I mentioned it, there's a few precepts that show how Jake was on point just from being Jake, from training rigorously, and were able to do. They were master marksmen, and I just got a few precepts I wanted to bring out. I thought they would add to the edification. All right, this is going into the Benjamin, Judges 20. They're speaking about Benjamin. I'll start at verse 15. It says, and the children of Benjamin were numbered at that time out of the cities 26,000 men that drew sword, beside the inhabitants of Gibeah, which were numbered 700 chosen men. Among all this people there were 700 chosen men left-handed. Everyone could sling stones at an hair breadth and not miss. You see that? Benjamin has skill, man. Verse 16 in NLT, it says, among Benjamin's elite troops, 700 were left-handed, and each of them could sling a rock and hit a target within a hair's breadth without missing. Man, that's some accuracy for your ass right there. So you talk about, sports in the Olympics, archery. We had tribes that were master archers and bowmen. You talk about just anything that has to do with a degree of and a level of accuracy. We was on top of that, bro. We was on it. So that Israel was well trained, in all of the martial arts. We were the best musicians, poets. We had strength beyond all of the other nations. We were wise beyond all of the other nations. Mathematics, astronomy, all of that we had on lock. And we ain't had to inject no fucking steroids, or we didn't have to do nothing outside of following the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai to do it. one more precept, which is 2 Samuel's. All right, let's grab this real quick. It says 2 Samuel's 1:18. It says, also he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Okay, so we would teach one another how to be nice with that bow, how to be master archers. It says, behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. So we were nice with the bow and arrow. Okay, we could sling stones. You heard the story of David and Goliath. We knew how to do some superhuman feats. All right, but this devil is trying to forge his own means of doing such things in his own blessing, which is this world that he has now, but soon to be taken away from him. Okay, because all he's doing is defiling every fucking thing. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, double honors unto the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, and peace to the whole elect. Shalom.